You know, I ain't gonna lie, her character design right there kind of gave me Mushoku Tensei vibes with the way they shaded the eyes and stuff. Sounds wonderful, he says with a grin on his face. Oh, you're gonna brutally torture her to death? Sounds wonderful. My hatred for elves is just gonna be justified, isn't it? And it's really funny because, like, the reason elves are such sick bastards more often than not is it makes sense because if you look at humans' lifespans, we commit such atrocities among our own people with a shortened lifespan. If you lived for thousands of years, yeah, the racism would be flowing through you more than normal blood. The elves in this show are way worse than usual. Oh my god. They're not holding back with production. I don't even know what he did there, but what the f— we have finger pistols? I gotta admit, I'm actually surprised by how gory the show turned out. Not that I didn't think that the revenge was going to be brutal, I just didn't think the anime would get it across, you know what I mean? Like, I thought, yeah, like, you'd hear the source materials like crazy. But I didn't think the anime would be able to show blades going through in such a meaty fashion, or heads rupture like this. I'm worried out here they're going to be sex pests on Diddy's Island over here, and instead, they're fighting over who can be nicer to her. Bless this show. Just wait until she meets his alter ego, Dark. Hey you, if you got the story on the video, make sure you drop a like on it to show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patreons where you can catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. If you also want help on the channel and videos just like the one you're watching, let's jump back into it. So, you know, if I had a nickel for every time I've essentially seen white supremacists this season in anime, I'd only have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's odd that it's now happened twice between Wild Last Boss and this. Now, granted, are they straight up not— they don't actually call them that like they do in Wild Last Boss, but they are. They have white knights, like their whole group is white knights, and they're supremacists. They literally express how they want to kill everyone who's not an elf, who's not a pureblood. I mean, you think she would be the worst, right? Just given what she did. I don't even think she's in the top half of elves in this world, which is saying a hell of a lot. This is insane. When you kickstart an episode pretty much with the douche patrol over here just completely tormenting, and that's even underselling it. I don't even know how much I could show of this. It's so fun too because this is exactly how like racists and bigots and just the worst people are. This is an elf who absolutely thinks he's superior to everyone who isn't an elf and thinks humans are lowly scum. Insert woman just struggling to survive, and clearly he sleeps with her and treats her as a sex object, and you know damn well if she was to fight back at any point he would say, "I always thought you're ugly." You know, it's the same people who would criticize anything sexual online even though they use it when no one's looking, right? But it's the fact of just the hypocrisy of these elves and just how vile and scumbag filled they are. I really don't want to show it too much just because I think honestly with how much they detailed this, I think YouTube would probably have an issue. But the fact that you see just some random human, I'm thinking, oh, it's just going to be like, they're going to do some cuts. Like, sure, we'll see the blade in the hands and stuff because that's what they're doing. No, you actually see the animation go through the meat of the actual human body. They do it to the ears, they do it to the hands, they're just torturing, and it's not until Big Dog comes in and says, "Stop playing with your food," that they shoot the head and say, "Okay, we'll stop torturing." It's just so sick and twisted, but here's the thing. Some people might want to say the elves in the show are, like, comedically evil, like, oh man, like, there's no way someone would be that much of a hater. I truly believe they are. On this channel, I make a lot of jokes about how elves are the worst, and, like, I'm a big racist towards elves. And then I'll be a hypocrite because I like dark elves because they're hotter. And there's like an element of truth to that, but honestly, elves are probably one of my favorite species in terms of media, just because I think some of their stories are the most interesting. But I truly believe they are some of the most hate-filled, if not the most hate-filled species known to man. And they really just represent humans if humans had a lifespan that went 1,000 years like elves. Because if you really take a step back, how much do we accomplish in terms of bigotry and hatred and vile mindsets in a 60 to 100 year lifespan? It ranges because God knows we all don't take care of ourselves as much as we should. Imagine if humans lived for that long, we would accomplish a lot. Hell, look at like the amount of times technology jumps from we can't do this to we just did 10 steps above it. If we could live 1,000 years, humans would accomplish amazing feats. There's no denying, but our hatred, especially if we had to interact with other intelligent life forms. Could you imagine if dolphins could talk to us like in an intelligent way? Do you think humans wouldn't massacre dolphins or lock them in cages? Like, let's be real here. We still would. This man's interesting though. So I can't be the only one. They weren't mother and son, right? Like this woman, I'm not saying she doesn't look like she could be a hot MILF, but this man, I don't know like what type of Kardashian liposuction he had done. He looks older than his mother. Maybe you could argue just really good makeup and genetics. I don't know. But either way, the thing that Light ends up doing in this episode, which is super interesting, is he summons this big ass tower, right? So we know he's going after one of his former party members who screwed him over, this bitch, the elf. And the idea of how he's like psychologically messing with her is just so brilliant. So he basically pops up in a way early in the episode and makes her freak out, right? Because I know it's him, but now he's disappeared. He left me a note. And he leaves a note saying, go to the tower. And then the tower then summons. And anyone who's going near the tower is getting killed that isn't a human, because that's the difference between Light's mentality right now and the rest of the world. He's thinking, okay, humans have been prosecuted for just being humans, so now we're going to save humans and no one else. It's going to become a bloodbath, mind you. The interesting thing about the way he tortures is probably going to be very unique per person. I'm not going to be surprised if this woman's torture is an internal life of nonstop thinking Light's here to kill her, but then Light never does it. Like just constantly keeping her on the edge of psychologically breaking to the point she probably needs a padded room. We still don't know what the dog looks like, the big pupper. He's for sure being treated like Reek from Game of Thrones. But it's so interesting because at the very end of the episode, she obviously confronts him because she's like, hey, you gotta be him, like take that mask off. And she slaps the mask off of him. I'm under the assumption he burned his face. Now, not in an aggressive way, but we know he has a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, meaning he could probably put some sort of cosmetic flaw. And it will probably make her look, because if they are going the route that I think they are, which is he's trying to psychologically fuck her over, this would make the most sense. You attack some random kid in the street thinking he's Light and he's dark. I mean, it really does expose some intelligence issues and, you know, but I think it would make a lot of sense because on one hand, we're also progressing like saving humans, right? Like you have this poor girl here. This is probably my favorite part of the whole episode, which is saying a lot. Anytime you see stuff like this, little girl, little boy, child running for their life, and then gangsters like this pop up, you're thinking, oh man, what in Jeffrey Epstein is about to happen? No, they all fought over who got to do the nicest thing for her. I get to get her new shoes. I get to get her water. It's wholesome as hell. This show has surprised me the past couple of weeks. I think for a while the show kind of fell in a rut. Not that it was a boring rut, but it wasn't really doing much to amplify the enjoyment past where you expected. But episodes 7 and 8 have reached a new level for me with this show that I think it's gone from just being kind of like a mindless, edgy, fun, harem-y show into something that's building something that you could easily see yourself watching for multiple seasons on end. At least that's how I'm feeling. Either way, I love this show. It is getting better and better. I was really worried for a minute these 4 were going to get killed because, like, obviously they were just kind of standing for a bit, and then, like, I thought it was going to be a dramatic cut. Thankfully, Best Boys got to survive. Either way, it'll be fun to see what they do, but yeah, revenge is a dish best served cold, and this Elven bitch is going to be psychologically messed up for many moons to come, I'm convinced. Your thoughts down below, though. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around. Of course, Patreon full live reactions and exclusives. Like I also like to give video shows to my wonderful patrons. So today we got Drift, Ukando Itsuhuzi, Gutter Snipe 1, Simulcrum, Troy, Game Senpai, ICL Cicero, and we also have Michael Meadows. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. You'll have a good one.